Hey guys, Crypto here with a general market update. I'm going to talk about the market as a whole, what my plays are right now, and I'm also going to cover if I think this is the bottom of the bear market. As many have been asking me, I think that we're at a pivotal moment here, and I want to explain my reasoning for why I believe this very well could be. We could have seen the bottom of the bear market at around 3.2 thousand, and this could be the first major wave to the upside. If you guys missed catching any sort of move thus far, don't worry. There's going to be, well, after we climb up a bit higher, I believe, there will be a major pullback. And I think that that pullback will last for a pretty long period of time as a wave two pullback. And I think it's going to just draw out, give the bigger buyers a little bit more time to accumulate before we really start taking off. So it could be another. Honestly, could be another 6 months to a year of sideways movement. And the reason I say that is let's first look at the. Okay, guys. So yeah. So as I was saying, I believe that we could be in our first major wave here. Our second wave could take anywhere from 6 months to a year. So although we may have seen the bottom of the bear market, this doesn't mean that we're going to be going straight to 20,000 plus. In the next couple months, it could still draw out, and I think it will. But let me talk to you guys about what I'm seeing that makes me think that we may be starting the next cycle here. And what I'm seeing, guys, is just off the bottom here, we have our impulsive move, our first wave. We had a second wave here. We had our first subwave of this third wave, denoted with the blue line here. Second wave, and this impulsive move, I believe, is the third of the third wave. Now, as we know, based on Elliott wave counts, the third of the third is usually the strongest, or the third wave in general usually has the strongest volume and is the tallest or longest wave. And what we're seeing here is obviously a very massive spike in volume, the first big spike in volume since our, what I now believe to be capitulation, that we've seen in this market, right? So this is huge, massive volume. We saw a massive spike, a run up of $1,000 in around a half an hour yesterday, guys. So something big is happening, all right? There's two possibilities here, and I'm going to go over both of them. The first, which I think is more likely, is that we have now seen the bottom of the bear market officially at $3,130 here on BitMEX, and I believe that we will not see that level again for a very long amount of time. All right, this is the bullish scenario, starting a massive wave one made up of 5 subwaves denoted with the orange line to start off our next bullish cycle. All right, as you can see here, I've denoted the subwaves of this wave one. We're currently in the third subwave of this larger wave one, and within that third subwave, we are in the third wave. All right, that's what I'm looking at here. Now, how do we know whether this is going to play out, and how do we get confirmation that what we're seeing really is an impulsive move to the upside and an end to the bear market? Well, what I'm looking for, guys, is I'm looking for a move above 6,000. All right, here's why. We know that the third wave has to be the longest. Sorry, the third wave cannot be the shortest. We know the third wave is usually the longest, and we know that we're only on the third subwave of the third wave, which means we should get some sort of retracement here, and then we should go up for one more wave of this third to complete the third wave. Then we'll get another wave of retracement, and then we'll get a final fifth wave to end our first major wave in the next bullish cycle, all right? Here's the thing, guys. We already hit 5.3 thousand, all right? We already hit 5,300. Everyone is looking at the major resistance between 5,800 to 6,000, which is just above us, and everyone thinks that we're going to reject there and fall back down and make new lows. Up until recently, up until this massive move, I had considered that as well. In fact, up until this massive move, I didn't think we'd make it past 4.3 to 4.5 thousand. Of course, as we started seeing things coming up here, and as we started consolidating, and we saw, I mentioned in my last video, alts like Cardano not correcting at these levels, but instead bursting through, I made a video on what I thought could be a sort of a precursor to what Bitcoin was going to do. And I said, look at Cardano, it's making the exact same pattern as Bitcoin. And I think it's now possible that Bitcoin may also simply just erupt out of this channel we have here and blast through our levels and hit 5,000. And that is exactly what happened, okay? Since that happened, I'm now much more convinced that we have seen the bottom of the bear market and that we're now seeing a massive move to the upside. That will lead to a break of 6,000 on either the first or the second attempt, all right? A break of 6,000 before we come back down to below this green block right here at 4.3 thousand. All right. So what I'm looking for, guys, is a break of 6,000 before we touch 4.2 thousand. Okay. If we manage to break 6,000 before we touch 4.2 thousand, I think it will happen. I believe that the bear market has ended and we have started a new bull run. All right. If we touch 4.2 thousand before we break 6,000, then I think this was a major bull trap, and I do believe that we will see new lows. All right, so that's what I'm looking at here, guys. We cannot go as low as 4.2K based on our Elliott wave count unless this is simply a three-wave corrective move, okay? If this is counted as I think it is, we cannot go back below 4.2 thousand until we've completed a full 5 waves, okay? And that's how I have my invalidation point here. 4.2 thousand, guys, that's the key level, and I don't think we're going to get anywhere near it, all right? That's what I'm seeing here now. Now, to complement this, as you guys know, we've been watching Bitcoin Cash for a while now. And to complement this, guys, as you can see over the last couple of days, we hit both of my upside targets since I went long, and as many of you guys went long on my call at 160, targeting double, over 100% in gains at around 340. In the last 2 days, we ramped up and we hit that level. I was expecting a pullback here and then to ramp up and hit it. We didn't even get a pullback. We just went straight through it, all right? This is extremely bullish, guys. This is very bullish, and many alts are doing the exact same thing here, all right? So alts... sorry guys, got a phone call. So as I was saying, many alts are making these what look to be bottom reversal patterns. That complements the fact that Bitcoin also looks like it's reversing. Everything looks like it has formed a bottom and it's now reversing. A lot of people are in disbelief. A lot of people think we're going to hit 5.8 thousand and then tank. A lot of people think there's no way we break through 6K on the first go. So there's just a lot of disbelief in the air right now. And I think based off everything that I'm seeing that we have seen our bottom, all right? Take a look at Bitcoin Cash and look at the massive volume we got in the last couple of days, guys. This is some incredible volume on not just Bitcoin Cash, but many alts that look this way. We take a look at Cardano as well. Cardano also went ahead and hit my upside targets. We blew through my second upside target, again netting over 50% on that particular trade, and are just continuing up, literally going vertical. Look at the volume, guys. This is not the type of volume you'd expect to see in a bear market, okay? It could be a trap. I'm not saying it's not, but if we break 6,000, I highly doubt that this is a massive bull trap, all right? If we break 6,000, I think we've started or confirmed the start of another massive bull run. Take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin is absolutely just freaking killing it. Already hit $100, guys, off of its lows. Look at this perfect curve, perfect arc. This looks so much like the end of a... I mean, just look at the volume, guys. This is freaking crazy. Look at the volume. This just looks totally like the end of a bear market, and it looks like big buyers are stepping in here, pouring money into these coins, and I think we're starting something serious here, all right? So without a doubt, guys, I do think that that the bottom is in, all right? But I need to see a break of 6,000 before we touch 4.2 thousand for confirmation, okay? Now let's take a look at Bitcoin and what I'm expecting it to do here, all right? That is not the right chart. Let's go to the right one. All right, so Bitcoin, guys. One more thing, guys. Actually, one more thing that I want to point out, because this is actually really big. All right, you guys, if you guys have been watching my YouTube videos from day one when I first created this channel, then you know that I'd like to use RSI quite a bit, and I like to look at certain levels of RSI for my analysis, all right? I always talk about the 60 level, how it's super important in long-term bull and bear trends. When things are bullish in a bull market, we tend to stay between the 40 and 60 levels. And when things are bearish in a bear market, we tend to stay between 0 and 60, all right? We don't tend to see a break above 60 on longer time frames in a bear market. We don't tend to see a break below 40 on longer terms in a bull market, all right? If we take a look at the, let's take a look at the Brave New Coin Index for Bitcoin. And let's take a look at RSI on the 3-day chart, all right? That's a longer time frame, okay? And what do we see here, guys? I've shown this in one of my past videos, but what do we see here? Let's draw a line, all right? Let's draw a line from the start of our correction from the top, and let's place it at 60, all right? And then let's draw a line from the start of, I mean, this was all massive, you know, like bull runs here. So I don't even know where to bring this. 2014, was that the 2015 was when the last bear market ended? So let's go right at 40, right? So right over here, all right? And what do we see, guys? From the end of the bear market in 2015, we started a new bull run, and the 3-day RSI maintained above 40 the entire time, oscillating between 40 and 95 the entire duration of this bull market, all right? As soon as we hit our top here, and we started correcting, we officially broke below 40 for the first time. And since then, we have never recovered the 60 level, all right? Notice how then we began oscillating between 60 and 0 during our bear market. Guess what, guys? We officially just broke 60 on the 3-day RSI for the first time in this entire bear market, all right? That paired with my count, paired with everything else that we're seeing here, the massive volume coming in for the first time in a very long time, is really convincing me that we've seen the bottom and that we've started a new bull run. All right. Now there is one caveat, and that is that if we go to the weekly chart here, if we go to the weekly chart here, we can see that we haven't yet broken 60 on the weekly. All right. So it's still possible, although I don't think that's the case. It's still possible that this is going to be a very large relief rally, and then we'll continue down and somehow make lower lows than 3,000, and that we're not yet out of the bear market. But I highly doubt that's the case. All right. So for right now, guys, it looks to me like this really could be the end of the bear market and the start of a new bull run. Now that I've gotten that out of the way with the RSI that I wanted to show you guys, let us take a look at what's going on right now and what I'm expecting right now. Right. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has now hit our supply zone in red, and as expected, we did get a rejection. Not surprising there. This is a massive, massive supply zone. We are consolidating at the moment. A lot of people are saying we're about to tank and go back to new lows. I don't think that's the case. Based on my wave count, I think that we could be done with our third wave, or we could have one more wave down and then another wave up to complete it. But my point is that I don't think we're anywhere close to being done with this run. All right. What I do think, if we go down to a smaller time frame, and I've talked about this already in my Discord group, wasn't able to post the explanations on Twitter because it's too long. But basically what I'm seeing here as a possibility is that we're making a final fifth wave here for whatever wave this up was. I don't know what it was, but we're making a fifth wave here and we're correcting, right? This correction, I believe that we're now going to correct back to our green zone. I've talked about this as well. I mentioned on Twitter that I'm looking for a correction to 4.3 to 4.5K, and that would be the optimal long if you guys haven't already got in or if you missed the run up thus far. This this supply zone, once we flew past it, is now going to be acting as a demand zone and should offer support on the way down. All right, on a smaller time frame, we can see we got a strong drop. If we go to an even smaller time frame, we can see that this drop looks like a clear 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? With big wicks at the bottom ending the 5th. And we're now correcting to the upside, and I think we will correct a little bit, but I do think we have one more leg to the downside after this. And I think that leg to the downside will take us to the green level. And why do I think that? Well, if we take a measurement of the length of the first drop, and this has to do with Elliott wave rules as well, but if we take that length and we project it from the end of this, we don't know where this correction is going to end yet, this 3-wave structure, but assuming it drifts sideways and we have a 1-to-1 extension of our C wave, that'll put us right back in our green zone between 4.3 to 4.5K. And that's why I think that we are headed there. It makes sense to retest this level. It was a massive level, and it only makes sense to test it before continuing to the upside. So I do think that that's a very likely possibility, and I do think that would be an amazing long opportunity if we get it. All right. Now, keeping that in mind, let us take a look at Ethereum, because Ethereum is what I think is about to go off like crazy right now. I think Ethereum is looking very bullish, and Ethereum hasn't been doing as well. I mean, we've seen Bitcoin Cash rocket, Bitcoin Cash double, Bitcoin has been flying, Litecoin has been flying, Cardano has been flying, all these other alts have been flying, and Ethereum has kind of been, taking it a little bit easy so far. It's been making moves, but nothing to the extent that these other coins have been making, right? So for Ethereum, I think it's about time that Ethereum started to shine, and I think we're going to see that very shortly. And here's what I'm looking at, guys. Let me take you to a cleaner chart first off. We'll take a look at this chart here, right? So take a look at this chart, and actually, this is not the chart. Let me see if I can find the chart that I worked on. All right, here it is, guys. So if we take a look at this chart, what do we see, guys? We can see that we're at a major resistance point here, all right? Before this massive drop, we tapped that resistance and we retraced a little bit, all right? Now, what else do I see? I see that I also have a resistance here that has now been flipped into support, all right? So we have this level here, and if we go, let's see here, let me actually put it right at the top of this candle close. Let's try that one more time. Right at the top of this candle close, all right? We put it right at the top of this candle close. This was our resistance, prior resistance. We touched it once, we touched it twice. This looks like it's making an ascending triangle, which I will draw out here. And again, keep in mind, guys, Cardano is doing the exact same thing. It was making an ascending triangle and then it burst through the top, right? So we're seeing an ascending triangle here. and we note that we've touched the resistance once, we've touched it twice, we broke through it on the third try on a strong spike in volume, all right? We got rejected at this resistance above us, which makes sense because it's a major resistance, but we closed the daily above our now support, right? This resistance is now support, and we closed our daily above it, all right? So I think that if this is the bottom of the market, if everything else is rocketing up, then I don't think Ethereum is going to drop through the bottom and make new lows. I do think that Ethereum is going to rocket up as well, and now it's just a question of when. And what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a close above this major support level in the daily, and I'm seeing an initial resistance above us, and then we're just gonna, I mean, then it's like open air, right? Doing exactly what all the other coins have been doing. And I don't think that we're gonna drop back down here. I think that now that we held it on the daily, we will continue to hold this level, and I think we're only gonna go up from here, right? So I'm already long on Ethereum, and I posted this trade on my Twitter. I got filled at 138 when I was out of town. And so I'm long from 138 on Ethereum, and I'm just holding those longs. I think we're about to see a massive move to the upside. If we take a look now at our other Ethereum chart, all right, this is the other chart, we can see that we were in this channel. Now, again, this is the same channel that both Cardano and Bitcoin were in. Both Cardano and Bitcoin made this three-wave move, and then we're channeling, and both of them erupted massively from this channel and proceeded to skyrocket, right? So now on Ethereum, we've also broken above that channel, okay? Ethereum seems to be lagging behind those two a little bit, but we've also now broken above that channel. We've actually back tested the channel on the last daily candle and then closed above our local resistance, which is now support. And we've already tapped into this resistance once, okay? So as long as we hold 160, I think the next time we go up here, we're going to burst through 173 and head straight to 200. And then once we break through that, it's clear skies, all right? I think that what we're seeing here on Ethereum is exactly what we saw on Cardano, which is exactly what we saw on Bitcoin. And now Ethereum is going to be doing the exact same thing, all right? Now let's take a look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart because that'll tell us a little bit more as well. So here we have the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, and on this chart we're looking at another major support level on this green line, all right, that we bounced off of a couple of times. We wicked into one more time. I'm going to ignore this massive wick because it only appeared on the Kraken exchange, but I charted my stuff on this exchange. That's why I'm going to be using this one, but you guys can ignore this wick. It didn't occur on any other exchanges. And then we had another tap of that level, and we got a strong wick off of it, all right? Now keep in mind that the Ethereum USD chart is resting on support. Keep that in mind, guys. A major, major support, all right? Now let's take a look at what the count could be here for the XBT, right? So we have our low right here. We have our first wave off the low. We have a second wave as a correction, and what looks to me like a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A first impulsive wave. We have a ABC corrective wave. Again, looks like a clear three-wave structure with a strong wick off the bottom, which is what we like to see. And again, we cannot go, if this count is correct, we cannot go below 0.0299 right here, this low, right? So this is our invalidation for this level here. And let's go right there. So that's the invalidation for this count. But if this count is correct, then we've now made a first wave, a second wave, and we'll now be starting our third wave to the upside, right? We bounced off support. We had a strong wick. Our invalidation is right below us. We had a clear A, B, C. It's actually probably a W, X, Y, but the point is that we have a nice 1-to-1 on our A and our C as well. Everything is looking like this is a solid 1-2. And what comes after a 1-2, guys? A 3. And what is a 3? It is the strongest and the longest wave in an Elliott wave count, all right? So the Ethereum Bitcoin chart looks primed for a move to the upside. At the same time, our Ethereum USD chart, as I showed you guys earlier, is resting on a major support after just breaking out of this ascending triangle and that channel that we had earlier. After breaking out and retesting, it's now sitting on support, and the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is also primed, all right? And then what this means, guys, is that if I'm assuming that we're going to get another leg down for Bitcoin, right? What needs to happen if we can't go much lower on Ethereum, on the Ethereum / Bitcoin pairing, if this is as low as we can go before we get invalidated, which means we can't really go much lower here, what needs to happen, guys? What needs to happen is that for this ratio to go up from here like it needs to at a very rapid rate, two things need to happen, guys. Number one, Ethereum to US dollars, that level needs to go up. So we're at 160 right now. That needs to go up, okay? If that goes up at a faster rate than Bitcoin goes up, we'll see a strong move to the upside, all right? But what's going to make us see what is going to make us see a massive move to the upside? Remember, this is our third wave. It's got to be the strongest, right? So I don't want just a strong move to the upside. I want a massive move to the upside. And what is going to give us a massive move, guys? Not only Ethereum moving up in terms of US dollars, but Bitcoin moving down in terms of US dollars. So if we have both Ethereum moving up while Bitcoin moves down, this ratio increases at an even faster rate than what it would increase at if only Ethereum was going up, but Bitcoin is remaining steady, right? So everything makes sense right now for me to see one more leg down on Bitcoin and for Ethereum to maintain its 160 level support and head up from here, because that would mean that we'd see a massive spike on the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, and my Elliott wave count is showing me that that's very likely. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing, guys. It's a lot of extrapolation here. I'm tying a lot of things together. I don't want to confuse you guys. I'm just trying to explain to you how my mind works and what I'm seeing and why this makes a lot of sense to me, okay? But if you just want to take it from a very simple level, just keep in mind that Ethereum, based on the wave count, looks like it's ready to break up. It's following the same pattern that Bitcoin and Cardano did. It's standing on major support after breaking above it, okay? Bitcoin looks like it could take one more leg down. We're expecting a move to 4.3 to 4.5. And then the Ethereum / Bitcoin pairing looks primed for a move up. Just keep those three things in mind. That's all I'm saying, but I'm explaining how it ties all together because it makes a lot of sense, and I think it's really cool. And I like looking at these types of things. Anyways, keep it simple, guys. Just look at the charts I showed you earlier and tell me if that makes sense to you guys. You don't need to worry about all this. It might be a little bit confusing. I just felt like pointing it out. Anyways, so that's what I'm expecting here on Bitcoin Cash, guys. Bitcoin Cash is in a similar position here. We tested our second level. We hit it, topped off perfectly at the top of the level, and we're now seeing a little bit of retracement. And what I'm expecting for Bitcoin Cash here is I'm expecting now ideally a retracement to this block below us between 240 to 260, and then another move to the upside, and this time taking out this level and heading to the 400s. All right, that's what I'm expecting for Bitcoin Cash here. If we take a look at the Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin pairing, this is what we see, all right? We see that the Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin pairing is broken above this prior resistance. We're now meeting resistance at this level, which is also a major level on the daily. So let me draw this out again. All right, so we touched this major resistance level in the daily, similar to what Ethereum did as well, right? So we tapped against this major resistance, and now we've rejected, right? And we just broke above this support level. So what I'm expecting here for Bitcoin Cash is a consolidation over here, right? And then a burst through this level to continue to the upside. Look at that massive volume, guys. This is an amazing setup here. But this is what I'm expecting on Bitcoin Cash, right? So I'm expecting the Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin pairing not to increase yet and to kind of move sideways, right? So again, if I'm expecting Bitcoin to be moving down here for one more leg, and if the Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin pairing is going to stay steady, then it should go along that the Bitcoin Cash USD price should also follow Bitcoin down on this next leg, right? So it makes sense then that we'd see a deeper retracement here on Bitcoin Cash to around 249, at which point both Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, I think, will have made their local bottoms and will continue up for both of them, right? So Bitcoin Cash, I think, is going to pull back along with Bitcoin here, and then I think that we're going to rocket up to the top again, right, into the 400s, 400 plus levels on Bitcoin Cash. That is what I wanted to cover. Those are the main coins I'm still looking at, guys. Of course, there's plenty of alts out there that are doing plenty of things. I just don't have the time to cover them, and so I focus on a few that I think are very clear and that have solid setups. So this is what I'm expecting here, guys, in the coming days. To recap one last time what I'm expecting in the coming days, and I could be completely wrong, but let's go over the main points of this video to summarize, all right? The first major point is that the Bitcoin bear market is likely over if Bitcoin hits, let's go with breaks 6K before it hits 4.2K. Okay, that's the first major point. Second major point, Ethereum is going to the moon, all right? Now keep in mind, guys, I'm telling you all these things, but don't take a trade unless you have a target level in mind, a stop loss in mind, and you have your risk managed and you're aware of how much you lose if it goes the other direction. I posted these trades in my Discord. I've posted some of them on Twitter as well. But even when I say Ethereum is going to the moon, make sure, even if you think it's going to the moon, that you have a stop loss set and you know where the invalidation is. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. Invalidation for Ethereum, I've posted a chart in my Discord. I'll probably post it on Twitter as well. It's about 150. It's below the last major wick we had, which touched the top of the channel, if that helps out. But basically what I'm trying to say is, don't just look at what I'm saying right now and jump in trades blindly. Go over the charts, set your stop losses, set your take profit targets, see if what I'm saying makes sense to you, and then decide how you're going to play this. But yeah, that's my second point. I think Ethereum is going to rocket in the coming days. The third point is that I think Bitcoin will pull back. I'm going to write may pull back to 4.3 to 4.5K, which is an excellent long opportunity, and may also be the next lowest level we will get to buy in this entire bullish cycle. All right, so keep that in mind. Again, for that long, 4.2K is the invalidation. So you have a beautiful stop loss that you can set there, $100 to $300 below your entry for a move that could potentially take us to 20,000 to 50,000 plus. You guys have to look at it that way, right? If you're buying spot Bitcoin, that I think is going to be your best chance. We have a very clear validation at 4.2K. You can manage your risk. Don't go all in and risk 30 to 40% of your portfolio, please, guys. Risk a manageable portion of your portfolio on this trade, but know that this is a very good opportunity that we have coming up if we get it, all right? The fourth thing that I think is going to happen, Bitcoin Cash will retrace along with Bitcoin back to 240 to 260, all right, before continuing up. So if you're not in Bitcoin Cash and you're looking for an entry, that is the entry that I would look for, all right? And is there anything else that I need to cover here? That's about it. I think that's everything that I covered here. And that is a summary of the points that I just went over. Again, guys, I'm not perfect. This could all be wrong, and I could get it wrong if we just drop from here. Again, remember, we need to hit we need to break 6,000, and if we hit 4.2 thousand, then every single bullish scenario I've written here is invalidated if we hit 4.2 thousand. Keep that in mind, guys. But if we don't hit 4.2 thousand and we break 6,000, then these are the opportunities that I see in the coming days. With that in mind, I did take some profit on Bitcoin Cash here. I'll probably be taking some more profit here, anticipating this move down and looking to rebuy. Even with where we're at now at an entry at 160, I still have doubled up, even at 300. So I think it's a move I'm willing to take. If you're going to be taking partial profits, only take partial profits. Sorry, don't exit your entire position and try to swing your entire position back and forth, because it will cause FOMO if things go the other direction and you'll end up chopping yourself out. So only take partial profits as we go up, unless you're very confident that we're about to tank and you don't believe in the bullish scenario like I've played it out. If you guys have any other questions about anything that I've talked about in this video, feel free to comment on my YouTube video. If you guys aren't already, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see these types of updates. Follow me on Twitter and turn my alerts on YouTube. I've never said this before, but that's probably a good idea so you don't miss any of these updates, because this market looks like it's heating up, and I'm sure all of you want to be made aware of what's going on. So turn on my updates on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, like and subscribe, and share, guys. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it, and that's it for today. Thank you.